another one.
Girlfriend looking to switch careers to QA. Some questions inside. All right, so let's go inside. All right. My girlfriend is currently looking to switch her career path away from journalism and content editing to a career that might have a slightly better WLB. What the heck is WLB? Let's find out. What does WLB stand for? Oops. Oh, work-life balance. Oh, no wonder I didn't know what that meant, because I never talk about work. I never talk about work-life balance. Because you know what my work-life balance is? Once I get off work, I go to my next job, which is creating content or coaching and stuff like that, 24/7, right? And then once I finish all of that, I go to my last job, which is sleeping. Yep, sleeping is a job for me. Eating is a job for me. All that. Thanks for letting me know. Now I never thought about that before, right? So, fighting is another job for me. You know, jujitsu, all that good stuff. All right, cool. So now that we know work-life balance, people always have acronyms for everything. Okay, so better work-life balance and prospects. I'm biased, of course, because she really does have amazing work ethic. Looking for work-life balance, having amazing work ethic. Okay, shout out to that. Great eye for detail, management experience, and a genuine curiosity about how things work. We had we have proper grammar, please. We have a few questions just to set expectations of her learning journey, as we're not too clued up on this yet. How long would you estimate the average person could learn the skills required for a junior QA position? I realize this will vary substantially, but if we said this person could study full time 4 to 5 days a week with the assistance of a software engineer to attempt to assist with any technical questions, what resources would you recommend she takes a look at to learn? We've seen the ISTQB exam mentioned before. Is this something to aim for? The ISTQB certification is Don's favorite. Yes, his favorite certification to have. He is a proud carrying member of the ISTQB board. So shout out to Don for that. Is this something to aim for? All right. And then oh my God, there's a total load of questions. All right. Generally speaking, what are the key skills, technologies would you hope for a junior QA to know? If anyone could provide some insight into those questions, we would be super grateful. It really would mean a lot. All right. So the first thing, there's so many places to start with this, right? But I'm going to start off with this, right? And sorry to whoever is bothered by it, but it's really tough, right? To get these questions. Start the timer, right? It's really tough to get these questions, right? Because why do we go and spend the learning portions of our lives when we go to college and stuff like that, and we spend the time on something that made us feel good, but we didn't do any research on it, and then we find out it's not really for us and it's a lot of work, and then we say, well, let me go transition to another field, right? And I want to be able to do it in 6 weeks. So you spent 4 years getting a degree for something that wasn't really going to help you much, because I've seen so many people, oh, I went to school for political science, or I went to school for international studies, and now I want to take a 6-week boot camp so I can do the type of work that you do, right? And I'm like, ooh. All right, I see. I am not doing that. All right, I'm not doing that, Mitch. All right. So now let's get to. I just wanted to put that out there because I like if you were to ask me, I'd say, hey, go to community college and start off at community college, right? Um, I would say the boot camp and community college, or community college and like one of the people that I'm coaching, community college and a Udemy course or a Coursera course and stuff like that, and help you learn, get some type of degree, some type of education that's going to mesh together. But all right, let's keep going. So here's my first real question, right? Because so you asked, how long would you estimate the average person could learn the skills required for a junior QA position? But here's the problem. Here's the problem, and this is what I always try to help you guys out with. Are you doing the research for the actual position that you say that you want to go for, right? So if you go on Glassdoor, you go on LinkedIn, you go on Indeed, you go all these job boards, and you search for junior QA, what are you finding? Right? When I search for it, I can barely find junior QA positions. When I search for manual QA, I barely find any of those, right? So, and then the people in the boot camps and stuff like that, there's tons of people going for those same positions. So now you have a whole bunch of competition, right? Now, if you, Mr. Boyfriend, are a software engineer, then my question to you is, are you able to help your girlfriend, to help Mrs. Girlfriend get a job at your company? Then that changes the whole game. Because if you're able to do that, then maybe we can practice some nepotism. Maybe some nepotism going there so that you can help Mrs. Girlfriend end up with a job at your company. Then that changes everything, right? Because at that case, then go on Udemy, go take a boot camp, whichever one that it is, and you can bypass having to apply for 4,000 jobs in a year. Okay, so all right, let's get to the next question. But yeah, I would say you have to do the research first, right? See what type of positions are out there, and then once you see the type of positions are out there, then you actually go out and then you actually go after like getting the skills that are listed on let's say you find like 10, 20 jobs, right? You got to do some research and you say, okay, what are the top 5 things that these 10 to 20 jobs are asking for? And those are the things that you're going to focus on learning, and you're going to go crazy learning those things, right? So with that being said, if you can study for 4 to 5 days a week, full time, tell me, what does studying full time mean, right? Does that mean 8 hours a day that you're going to be studying? Because that's going to be like, that's a lot, right? That's a lot to like try to study QA and stuff like that, but it's possible. So 4 to 5 days a week. So here's a problem with studying full time, right? And this is study. It only gives you theory, right? You actually need to be able to do practical implementation, right? Practical application. So that means, I don't know, like when you're mentioning junior QA, right? I don't know to what level that is. If that means like manual, or is it like junior QA with automation and stuff like that? And what type of stuff you're going to be testing? But in that full time of studying, it has to be a balance of the course that you're taking as well as actually building practical things, right? And if you're a software engineer, why don't you just have her learn by testing your work, right? I'm just saying, right? If you're a software engineer, have her test your work before you submit it to the other people. And that way you look even better because she's testing your work and she's catching all your issues and your defects and your lack of unit testing and stuff like that. And then when you send it to the real QA people to test your work, they're like, "Oh wow, this is perfect. How did that happen?" Right? And now you can try to finesse the system, and on her resume, she could say that she tested your work and that she made you better. Okay, so and then what research would you recommend she takes a look at? I would always say, so my golden rule is before you jump into something, you have to start at the lowest cost possible. So what I always recommend, get a Udemy course when they're on sale for like 10, 20 bucks, right? And you, like, if you're already in the boot camp, then keep going with that. But if you haven't started a boot camp yet, I always recommend to everyone, start off with like a Udemy course or something like that, or Coursera. and start learning that way to see if this is something that you're really interested in. Because the thing that breaks my heart, right? And like I said, I don't have any emotions, right? But the thing that breaks my heart is when you go and then you pay like $5,000, $10,000, and then you see that it wasn't really something for me, and now like they take a bunch of your money that you didn't have to. And I'll tell you this, right? You learn like the stuff that you learn on Udemy. If you match that up with proper mentorship and coaching, it's going to put you in a really, really good position for a fraction of the cost, right? That you could that it can cost you by going into like the whole boot camp route, and then having a bunch of people that they're actually your competition, but they make it seem like you guys are all working together. Nope. You guys are not working together. The same way when you go to the conferences where you have a bunch of people looking for the same job, you guys are not friends. You guys are not working together. So just putting that out there. All right. Let's see what else. And what's skill? Oh yeah, the ISTQB. Like don't tell Donna I said this, but I would say that the ISTQB exam doesn't mean anything. Most of the QA people I know, they either never heard of it or they don't have it. ISTQB is like, I'll say mostly for regulated industries, because a lot of government contractors and government agencies want QA people to have ISTQB certification. So it can help in that aspect, but it's really not a requirement in QA. I read something the other day. Someone said, "Oh, I heard it was required." Like, no, it's not required. And most of the people a lot of people who are trying to transition into the field get their ISTQB certification, but then when I ask them practical questions, they're like, they can't answer the questions for the life of them, right? So I would focus on building practical experience, practical knowledge, and finding a way to jump on some real projects so that you can actually feel what it's like to work as a QA engineer. And then once you go to those interviews, you can crush it because you have that good experience, right? And that's what I coach my Patreon members, my Tech Barbarians and my Tech Prodigy members to do, right? To be in the real world environment, so that we're building software. You see me on Sundays deploying software, showing you what we're building. About to continue with that. All right. So yeah, and then lastly, what key skills and technologies would you hope for a junior QA to know? I don't really like. So I guess if I take a look at it in my company, I guess the junior QAs would be like a QA specialist or a QA level 1, QA engineer level 1, and at my company, all QA engineers or all QA people, right? Anyone in QA, they know how to write some sort of automation. Like they might not be like the best at it, but they start writing automation, and then we grow them to continue getting better at it. There's strategies that they use and stuff like that. So being able to have critical thinking skills, being able to write some sort of automation, whether it's in Python or Java or JavaScript and TypeScript and stuff like that, and learning how to figure things out, right? That's what I look for. And then yeah, as a junior, that's what I would look for. And the more you go into that, like if you start working like messing around with AWS and Docker, I would love for junior QAs to be better in Docker and setting up like testing environments and stuff like that. But those are the things I would look for junior. All right. So hopefully that helps everyone out there who is looking to be in QA. I would look to be a little bit above junior because it is hard. The competition is fierce out there. Unless, like I said, we practice a little bit of nepotism and you help Mrs. Girlfriend get a job at Mr. Boyfriend's, Mr. Software Engineer's company. All right. So that is that.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.